Welcome to the Respect and Pray Show. I am your host, Miguel Mike Medina, Triple M. In this episode, this is a person that I recently met, but we hit it off right away. Covering hockey, and he's very knowledgeable about hockey, and I've learned some things about him, and I'm continuing to learn things about him. But it's been a fascinating collaboration so far. He is a writer, he is a podcaster, he has his master's degree in sports administration. He's wearing so many hats, and it's just been a thrill to see him work, to see him consistently um, put out content, and it's been a joy to work with him so far. So check out this interview; it's a good one. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor to present to you a brand new frequent collaborator of mine when we talk about hockey, Jim Biringer. Jim, thank you for joining me today.
Hey, Miguel, thank you for having me on the show today. It's going to be a great honor to talk to you as always.
For sure, for sure. So I got to start from the top, Jim. When did you fall in love with sports, and what was the first sport that you gravitated towards?
So I got to go back. So I was a young boy, probably 3 or 4. I fell in love with hockey. That was the first sport I gravitated to. Just loved it from the beginning. Just, I was going to Devils games when I was a little. It's funny. My mom would always say I always went to Devils games before I was born when my parents had season tickets growing up. So even before I was born, they were going to games and I was there before I even popped out. So, but falling in love with hockey, my dad and I would watch Devils games, and after that it was football. Giants, him and I would watch games together. But hockey was my first love, and it still is, because it's just a great game to watch.
One of the things that I found fascinating is that you went for your master's for sports administration, and you attended Farley Dickinson University. What did you learn studying sports administration, and how does it apply today, what you're doing?
So I went to Fairleigh Dickinson in New Jersey, sports, business, and I was just looking at the management side of everything, behind the scenes, what do sports business guys, what guys in the front office learn about, how to manage a team, how to manage a business, what goes into college athletics, things like that, and it can translate into the business world as well. And it's really fascinating. I was there at a great time, because the Olympics were going on. How do cities bid for that kind of thing? How do, teams set up their front office? How, if you look at a college, for instance, what goes into hiring the AD? How do you have to have all these protocols in place for things to happen? So it was really, really fascinating. I enjoyed every minute of it, to be honest. And it was great just to interact with people and learning how the business really works. And, from every aspect, from youth athletics all the way up to the pros.
That's awesome. So you're the hockey writer and co-host of Full Press Hockey. And I recently started to follow up on the podcast. I'm enjoying it. I feel like that's my go-to hockey podcast now. How did that come about?
So the podcast started in COVID. So the backstory is I was just a frequent guest on shows up in Saga 960 for Raw Mike Richards. I would do other shows as well that people were doing just to give my hockey content. But when COVID hit, it was time to do a podcast. There's not much you can do. You couldn't go anywhere. So my friends and I started a podcast, and then I got hooked up with Full Press Hockey. And again, I was just a weekly guest. We do the weekly TV show on Twitter. But then one of our other guys left, and I was like, well, let me start this podcast up. Why not? I know a lot of people. We can get great guests on. We can talk hockey all the time. And there's so many topics to discuss. So I just took over it, and it's been growing ever since. We have so many podcasts now, and they're different teams. I talk Devils, but I can talk overall NHL as well. And again, it just started from, okay, it's COVID. Where can we go from here? Like, what can I do? because I'm sitting around doing nothing. Can go only go outside so much, and sports are still coming back. What can we do? So you know what? It's time to start a podcast, have some fun. See if you can make money out of it. But who cares? It's just guys talking hockey, talking sports, and that's what it's all about.
Yes, I agree. Life is not always about money. It's about passion and the people you collaborate with. So, and I got lucky with you, because we're having a ball, discussing hockey. But interesting, you also are a wrestling correspondent at Full Press Wrestling. So tell me a little bit more about that, because you caught me off guard with wrestling. I'm like, okay, this guy likes wrestling as well, because I'm a wrestling fan as well. Um, so when did your knowledge and passion for wrestling started?
All right, so I was always a fan of wrestling. So go back to the 80s, Hulkamania, Warrior, Macho Man, like all that. Grew up in the 90s more watching Bret Hart. Bret Hart's my favorite wrestler. If people don't know that, I'm a big Bret Hart guy. Always have been, always will be. But then the Attitude Era and WCW Nitro, you had the Monday Night Wars, grew into that. But I never followed the hot sheets. So you knew things were going to happen. You knew it was predetermined. But now I start, later on, you started to read more, read up on more, talk to people in the business, and you're just like, all right, let me just see what's going on, where people headed. And then when AEW started, I really got into it. I mean, you had TNA. I watched that for a while. Like I could go back and forth between WWE, AEW, whatever it was, because I just loved wrestling. And I always tell everybody, I don't care if you like this one, that one, just enjoy it because it's a great time. Yeah, the Attitude Era is gone, but it's a great time to be a wrestling fan because there's so much out there. If WWE doesn't appeal to you, okay, AW, you can go Impact, you can go ROH. There's so much out there. And now reading the dirt sheets and just following up on things, again, talking with friends. I do the nightcap recap on Instagram with my buddy. And we're both just knowledgeable wrestling guys. And it's just fun. Again, it's not about making money. It's about having a passion and drive. And that's one of the bracelets I wear all the time on my wrist. It says passion and drive. And you know what? I have it all the time. And that's what you have to have.
Favorite breakfast meal?
Gotta go eggs and bacon. Eggs and bacon is my favorite breakfast meal.
Which team had a better run? The Devils from 95 through 2003, or the Chicago Blackhawks from 2010 through 2015?
Devils. And no, I'm not biased, but I think if you broke it down, basically, you would see the Devils had a better run.
Better captain in their prime, Steve Yzerman or Joe Sakic?
Wow, that's tough. Go Sakic.
I pretty much are gonna know this one, but I'll ask anyway. Attitude Era or Ruthless Aggression Era?
Attitude Era, hands down.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that. I agree. Better rivalry, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, or Austin and McMahon?
Oh man, Bret and Shawn. As much as I want to say Austin McMahon, Bret and Shawn, it was real. It was real, and it was real personal.
That's why I feel that I'm gonna have to go with that one as well, because they really disliked each other outside the ring.
They did. They really did. Especially that stretch from 96 and 97. They did not like each other at all.
Yep. All right, that does it for game time. So the next thing I want to ask you is, you were an intern as athletic development at Rutgers University in 2014, and you were there for 8 months. How was it like to work at an institution like Rutgers?
Oh, it was so much fun. I was there all the time for game days, for basketball and football. I would help out on game days, like set up the stuff out for the tailgates, for the, pregame, help around during all the games, got to be on the field. Just everywhere. We're there for the big game against Michigan the one year where they beat them. And yeah, it's just so much fun interacting with people inside that organization. They've come a long way, especially in their basketball program, to develop such a good team. And I think they got snubbed this year from the tournament. I really do, because they had such a good record. But just interacting with people and just learning from them, and just seeing what goes into these game days to make it so unique to, East Brunswick and Rutgers University, and how do people sell them on coming here, and just putting all this effort into making the fans feel special on that day to interact with everybody. Oh, it's just a great time. Long days for sure. Long days. Got to be there at like 7, and you wouldn't leave till like 8 or 9 or something. It was long, but it was awesome.
Insane work ethic. So I give you credit for that. That's not for everyone. So
no, it's not. I mean, we had to bring stuff from the field, lock it up. I mean, we did so much stuff. We set up, marketing things for people. We had different giveaways. The best part for me was being on the field. I got to help out doing the nets for the field goals. That was great. Set up like the TV stuff for when the Big Ten Network was there. Just to interact with the guys. It was just picking people's brains. It was awesome.
I'm gonna put you on the spot for this one, but it interests me. Name me your top 3 favorite Stanley Cup final matchups that you've seen.
Top 3 favorite Stanley Cup matchups I've seen. Okay. Devils, Colorado, 2001 for me is probably up there. Definitely, probably number 1, even though New Jersey lost. You have the 2 best goaltenders of all time, arguably playing head to head. That's the only time they've played against each other in a Stanley Cup final. To me, that's definitely up there. I'm probably going to go with Boston, Chicago, 2013. I thought that was a really good series. I thought that was one of my favorite ones to watch, especially Game 6. Chicago scores in a minute 13 to win the cup in the Garden. I thought that was a special series. And I'm gonna go. Let's see, so tough. So there were a lot of good ones early. Devils Dallas 2000. I like that series. That was a fun series to watch. The defending Stanley Cup champions, New Jersey, looking to win it again. So many Hall of Famers in that game. Eddie Belfour, Brodeur, was at all the games. It was crazy to me. There's so many recent ones too that were good. Like, Pittsburgh, Nashville I thought was a great series. Tampa and Chicago 2015 I thought was good. But I think those older series had a little bit more edge and bite to them, just the way the game was played.
Any advice for aspiring sports writers and podcasters?
Yeah, just stay with it. You have a dream to go do it. Go do it. Don't care what the outside world thinks. We all struggle with it at the beginning. Look, you're nervous to do it. I was. I'm not going to admit it. You're nervous in everything, but it's a good thing. You harness it. You do what you have to do. And you keep doing it because you can improve on it. It's not the be all end all, just have fun with it. That's what I tell everybody. Don't look at it as I'm going to make money. Look at it as I'm having fun each day talking about a passion that I have. And that's what I did. And that's why I write still. And that's why I do this, because I know eventually it's going to happen. But for me right now, it's about having fun and doing something that I love.
Amen. Amen to that. And final question, where can we follow your work and on social media?
So you can follow me at Jim Biringer on Twitter. So my name. Also, you can get me at Jersey Jim 33 on Instagram, Nightcap Recap on Instagram as well. Also find me Jim Biringer on LinkedIn. That's where you can get me everywhere. Follow Full Press NHL as well, because there's a lot of stuff that gets posted. NHLrumors.com. I do a lot of work for them as well. And yeah, everything's just, it's all over the place. But you can find me if you want to check it out. Weekly hits on Saga 960 Monday mornings at 8:10 with Raw Mike Richards show. Those are always fun to tune into. Two guys just talking about sports like it's the water cooler. So always a fun time.
Well, there you have it, guys. So, Jim, thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview with me. This platform is to give people the respect, their flowers for the work that they're doing in their respective careers. I salute you, man. It's been an honor to get to know you and to work with you on hockey content, and looking forward to more collaboration between us. But man, keep doing what you're doing, man. You're doing great things, and just keep it pushing, man. Much respect.
Thank you, man. Thank you. You as well, Miguel. It's great to work with you, collaborate with you on hockey videos. I salute you as well for all the hard work you put in. And yeah, just stick with it. It's going to come. The work's going to come. The praise is going to come. Everybody's going to see the hard work. I know I'm finally seeing it from my peers, and it's just satisfaction at the end, because that's what it's all about. You have a passion, just love it. And thank you again for having me on this show. And I can't wait to collab with you again.
Thank you for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoy the interview, because I certainly have fun doing this interview with Jim. So hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, all right? I'm serious, do not forget. And you guys know my motto: have mutual respect, mutual love, and mutual admiration. So stay tuned for the next episode.